Hey there, this is Smoke Master D coming at you with a beef rib cook on my blue smoke smoker. Got these beef ribs from Wild Fork. I'm going to try to use the Goldee's method that was shown on Meat Church YouTube channel. And I'm going to cut across here. I'm going to trim the sides there. Seems almost like a shiner there. Alright, I didn't think I was going to have to trim much, so I used the regular butcher knife there, but this silver skin needs to come off. I'm going to try to leave as much of the fat cap on here as I can, but I don't want silver skin on this thing. Silver skin's just not good. These beef ribs are feeling good though, they look fairly well marbled. I know Jeremy Yoder recently did an experiment with beef ribs. So I'm going to leave this on this half, and I've taken off some on that half. We'll see if they turn out better on either side. I've got here a 16 mesh black pepper, and this is a mixture of Lowry's and beef bouillon. This is Urbox sodium-free beef bouillon. Put 2 packets in there and 3 teaspoons of Lowry's. So just like they did on the Meat Church video with Goldee's, I'm gonna start with some light pepper here. I don't do binders, so I'm not doing one. Not super heavy on the pepper for these beef ribs. I think that's good. And now we're going to see if this is enough of this. Put it all on there. So these ribs are only choice. They're not prime, which I think they're probably using. They're certainly not creekstone. So I'm a little worried about how much salt we get on there. Alright, about like so. Yeah. Let's see. Shove this probe in here. Okay. Alright. We're gonna fire up the pit. It'll be a cold pit with these going on. Let's see how that goes. Let this thing sweat for a little bit while we do that. I like to burn off the grates a little bit. Alright. See my fire there. It's not a huge fire. I'm going to be trying to keep 200 for the first hour, like they suggest. Alright. Here we are. I've got my rack of ribs. Got a blocking log there. Put the ribs right there. I've got a couple more things. Alright. Cut this pork butt in half. I'm gonna make pulled pork out of it. Wanted to give half to a friend, and I like it better when it has, you know, more bark. So this is what I'm doing. That there. That there. The ribs are in the back there. And then we have 2 pork shoulder pieces. There and there. All right, let's close this thing down and get to cooking. All right, we've been cooking about an hour, sub 200 degrees Fahrenheit, trying to get some really good smoke on that meat. And now we're gonna put on our last thing on the pit, which would be these pit beans. Another meat church recipe. All right, I'm just gonna put those right here. All right. The ribs in the back there. And all right. All right, now the absolute last thing that I'm gonna put in the pit is a half cup of Wagyu beef tallow. You see right there, Chicago Packing Company there. All right, so let's see here. It doesn't have to be exact. It's not exact. It's fine. And try wipe some of this off here. That's the one thing about it. I've thought about getting the spray, but you know, I didn't. So okay. Used my gloved finger to try to get as much off there as I could. Now in the pit we go. Alright. I think it's time to take this log off here. Put the beans up there to act as my blocker. Give the beans a stir. I got here, put in the pit to heat up and season is this 24-inch ash scraper from Workhorse Pits. Alright, let's get this in here. Alright, some of this is looking a little dry, so I'm gonna get a sprayer together and give that a go. Alright, so see a little dryness there. You see how there's a little bit of moisture there, but dry there. A little dryness here too. Alright. Got some apple cider vinegar and water mixture there. Just a little spritzy spritz. Alright. There we go. One more stir. Alright, I want some more of the beans to have a chance to get some smoke on them. Alright, trying to keep that temperature up around 300 degrees. Alright. Yeah, so that's what Jerby does in the video with Meat Church. And it makes sense, right? So at the beginning, we keep the temperature low. I was even below 200. I think they were shooting for 200. Get that smoke on, and then you bump it up and try to render the fat. You know, that intramuscular fat is inside the meat and needs to become liquid as well, so you have a nice juicy barbecue. And for these offset smokers, these bigger ones, you know, you need that higher temperature, because when you're using convection, You know, air, hot air to heat something, it takes more than radiant heat, radiant energy. So, you know, if you have something like a pellet smoker or a Weber Smoky Mountain or a drum smoker, that radiant heat is cooking the meat as well as the hot air. So you don't have to get as high temperatures, right? When you have something that only pretty much cooks with convection, and there's a bit of radiant heat, especially right by the firebox. So if you got something over that way, you know, that will affect things. But you can go to those higher temperatures because you need that hot air hitting your meat more to actually raise the temperature of the meat higher to do that rendering of fat. So that's what we're trying to do now for the next little bit. So we'll see how that goes. Just in case you're wondering, I'm alternating today between red oak, white oak, and hickory. So you got red oak, white oak, and hickory here as well. I don't care much about bark. If it's on and stays on, that's fine. If it comes off, also fine. Yeah. So that's the wood for today. So the seasoning I put on my ash rake seems to have worked out pretty well. So one of my pork butt halves is done. This one here. Yeah. No wrap. You see how yellow that that fat is? Very good. Very good. Leave that there. These ribs here. Got a good bit of give there. They're almost there. I think I'm going to let them go a little bit longer though. Alright. So I did want to mention that Lone Star Grills has sent me an email that they are going to be building my El Patron, I guess soon or now or however that works. So just wanted to let you know that I will be receiving it hopefully pretty soon. I've got a lot of ideas of cooks that I want to do on it. So I hope that you'll be there with me for those. If you haven't liked and subscribed yet, please do. Thanks. Alright. I definitely think that we are here with these ribs. Take that out. We are going to wrap them up, let them rest for an hour, put the tallow on. Looks like I didn't get this on right. Why don't you get in close here? Some really nice bark on here. All right. So about in another hour, we will do the tallow that I have here. It's right here. Will cool off. Okay. We will pour that on. And yeah, hopefully these will turn out really well. It took about 9 hours to get to this point. I tried to stay up at 300, but I wasn't as on top of it as maybe I should have been, and maybe it would have taken 8 hours then. But put this here, close this down. At the rate that I'm used to putting wood in, it liked 250, you know, and I just have to get used to putting in more. Wow, this is hot. Some people may say, I should rest this a little bit further, but I don't do it quite like that. I'm gonna pull it right now, and any juices that come out will get reabsorbed. That's the reason I don't worry about it too much. But yeah, we're not gonna eat this tonight. We're gonna save it for another time. And that is where we are in our barbecue cook. All right, 1 hour rest has elapsed. I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna try to pour it over it gently. I can feel that bark. So the no wrap ribs, I can really feel it there. So maybe this will tenderize it a little bit. We'll see. All right, cover it back up for another 30 minutes. All right, so we see maybe some of that tallow did go inside there. This rib bone here is already like coming out. So let's see here. Wow. Alright, so okay. So this is what we have here. It looks good. It's falling off there. Let me give it a bite. Yeah, that the bark is very good. It's salty. I'm glad also that I didn't use the beef bouillon that had salt in it. So one more comment on the ribs. Some of the bark was too salty. I usually, measure by kosher salt, half a teaspoon per pound. Ribs are hard anyways, beef ribs especially, because they have such large bones. And I wasn't sure exactly how. I know in the original recipe they used a very healthy portion of the Lowry seasoning salt. So I used three teaspoons, which would be, for like 6 pounds, if that was, the math for it. But with the bones being so big, I probably should have gone less. I probably should have gone something like 2. I think in the original recipe, they used a higher grade of meat, like prime. Actually, I think it was Cold Creek Stone. And this was just choice. So I think that in that, some of the richness of the meat cuts through some of that extra salt, but that wasn't the case in my situation. So anyways, yeah, live and learn. When I do these again, and I do have some more, which I'll eventually do, I will go less on the Lowrys. Overall, I like this. It's very good. I look forward to eating the rest of maybe this rib for my dinner. All right. And that is it for this episode. Like I said before, I'm getting that El Patron soon, so come back for those episodes. And like always, go get your smoke on, y'all.